Hey there, Dr. Daniel Chong, vital-human.com. You'll never guess what I want to talk about again today. More baloney out there being spread about cholesterol. Let's listen to what this pharmacist has to say, and then we'll talk about it.
Another reason why, as a pharmacist, I would not take medication to lower my cholesterol. 80% of our cholesterol is made up endogenously, meaning made up in our bodies. And you're telling me cholesterol is bad?
Okay, so here we have another confident-sounding expert telling you some logical thoughts about cholesterol. In this case, why would he take medication to lower cholesterol production when cholesterol is made, most of the cholesterol that you get in your body is made in your body? I don't understand this reasoning. I mean, there are other things in your body that are partially made that you don't want too much of either. Just think about blood sugar, for example. Your body can manufacture blood sugar out of the stores that you have of fat or make it from protein. You don't have to consume a lot of sugar in order to get a lot of sugar. And yet, if it's too high, that can harm you. And so this thinking just simply doesn't make any rational sense. Let's hear what else he has to say.
Most of the yolk in an egg is cholesterol to help sustain a baby chicken. And you're telling me cholesterol is bad? Okay, so our brain is high in cholesterol. Every cell in our body has cholesterol in it. Our hormones are made from cholesterol. You're telling me it's bad? I don't think so.
Okay, so once again, we have this line of argument that because cholesterol is a crucial, necessary component of life, it sustains chickens as they're developing, it sustains your brain, it's crucial and necessary for the function, certain aspects of function of your cells and the membranes in your cells. That's all true. But what he's doing here is he's creating this false argument based on this idea that cholesterol is being stated as bad out there. Nobody is saying it's bad. Nobody's saying it's bad or good. People who are accurately speaking about it, unlike this guy, say that the molecules that carry cholesterol around in your bloodstream, especially LDL, which is the most plentiful, can become a problem if they are too high and if they get stuck in the linings of your arteries in certain places, and a variety of other processes occur after that. That's the nuanced look at this topic. Cholesterol is bad or good is something that people like this say to make themselves stand out, make you question everything, even though it's not even an accurate representation of what is being said out there. So to me, pointless. Next.
These products sustained us as humans for thousands of years as we thrived with very little cardiovascular disease and very little obesity, which most cardiovascular disease is caused from obesity or being metabolically unhealthy. So you're telling me our ancestors ate mostly animal-based products, and which are usually high in cholesterol, and it's bad for us? I don't think so.
So here we have this kind of also classic appeal to the past and sort of stating that because humans were so healthy back then, nothing that we were doing back then could possibly be harmful to us. It's absolutely true that humans have eaten meat for a long time in varying degrees. I don't know that they have, there are some groups of people that ate lots, many that did not, many that ate very, very little meat, mostly plant matter. It doesn't really matter. He's kind of suggesting that because we ate some varyingly possibly high amount of meat and apparently didn't get cardiovascular disease, eating cholesterol is not a problem. So he's sort of switching now to specifically talking about the foods containing cholesterol. But here's the point. Number one, we don't know how healthy humans would have been back then if they all lived up until their 60s, 70s, and 80s. We do have strong evidence actually from a study like this one that there's a good chance that a decent portion of people back then actually did have cardiovascular disease and possibly died of it, even at relatively younger ages than we did. So there's really no reason to talk about that at all. It doesn't mean anything to us now. We have much better evidence and research to support our decision making. We shouldn't be basing it on what did or did not happen thousands and thousands of years ago. So it's just another point that he's trying to use to say, well, therefore, logically, you shouldn't do this or do that based on what we think we know, even though he doesn't even seem to know exactly what happened back then. So another kind of useless point. Let's talk about one more here coming up.
Just rationally thinking. I don't care what studies you show me out there. I think the studies are biased based on pharmaceutical companies pushing their drugs. If cholesterol was bad for us as humans, we would have died years.
Okay, another, essentially perfect argument for people like this, because it doesn't matter what evidence you actually place in front of a person like this. It doesn't matter what quality level of evidence. Obviously, there's absolutely many studies out there that are fraudulent, poorly designed, etc., but there's also many that are not. And when you take the perspective of like, I don't care what study you show me or what it shows, I think they're all fraudulent and based on big pharma trying to sell drugs, and you don't even consider the study itself, the design, what it found, so on and so forth, and instead you're just appealing to very super basic ideas like, yeah, but people back in thousands of years ago ate a lot of meat, so we're good with it, or cholesterol is high in your cell membrane, so you should never lower it. I mean, it just doesn't even make sense, honestly, to make arguments like this when you really think about it, hopefully. So essentially, he's turning to information that we have very little actual understanding of and using that to support his argument, and moving away from an entire section of the scientific literature and just writing it all off. That's a very easy way for him to feel like he's won an argument if he just says, no matter what you show me, it doesn't matter anyways. But unfortunately, people like this are out there constantly talking to people, sometimes thousands, sometimes millions of people, using very logical sounding arguments that are quickly stated with confidence and don't make any effort to look at nuance. And when you do that, you can get people to believe a lot of inaccurate things, especially if they kind of already have a tendency to think that way. So this is just another classic example of basically a few minutes of complete baloney, like I said, really not showing anything, really not providing any evidence in support of what they're saying, and unfortunately convincing people, again, don't care about your don't care about your cholesterol levels, your LDL levels, whatever you want to call it, in your bloodstream. It's natural. Don't worry about it. We're fine. Last thing I'll say, the other thing that he doesn't talk about, no humans that we know of back then, or any humans modernly, in modern times that live a traditional sort of hunter-gatherer lifestyle, had the high levels of LDL cholesterol that the modern American or modern Western person does these days anyway. So he's making arguments based on something that happened in the past and what was happening in people's bodies in the past, even though their blood levels were actually much lower than ours. And he's trying to use that as an argument to support not caring what our levels are, even though they're much higher. Doesn't make any sense. Drives me crazy. Had to share. Thanks for listening. Daniel Chong, vital-human.com. Talk to you later. Thanks.